Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Bryan W. Adams.
Well, hey everybody, this is Bryan Adams. Thank you so much for joining the Inspire podcast. Really excited to have a chance just to visit with you guys. We got several big things we're going to talk about today. And so some of the things I want to share with you guys on this call, and I would ask you to get comfortable because I got a number of things to cover with you. And I just want first to start with kind of sharing my heart during this time and sharing some of the thoughts that have been going on with me and with our team and just kind of where we are and kind of where we're going, but where we've been as well. And I just want to start out by saying that how much I appreciate each and every one of you for the way that you've responded to this crisis. And this is one of those things that honestly there's no game plan for. There's no book for. There's no employee manual. There's no leadership guide for people to be able to do this on what do you do whenever you have an incident like this happen in the world. And the way that our team responded, the way that our readiness team prepared has just been inspiring. I mean, honestly, it's just been inspiring. In fact, I just want to kind of go back a little bit on this and just kind of share some of the thoughts. So in early March, I think it was March 2nd, we had seen what was going on in Asia and what we started happening really escalating in Italy and Europe, and just all of the things that just started really kind of snowballing with this whole coronavirus. And so I think it was March 2nd in an executive meeting, I asked our team and really set out and appointed a team to really focus on the response and our readiness to make sure that if something happened and really we had to go and work remote like you saw was happening in Italy and in parts of Europe and in Asia, that we would be prepared. This was before a lot of people were really talking a lot about this in the U.S., but we wanted to get ahead of it. In fact, later that week, we actually moved our board meeting to a virtual board meeting, first one we've ever had, where it was all done over webinar. And even our board of directors, we had board of directors that said, "Man, like, do we really have to do this? We still want to come," because we had a board meeting on March 10th. And I said, "Yeah, this is going to be the plan. This is how we're going to do it." And I think it's just best for all of us if we have it on a virtual setup. In fact, later that week, I think on the 4th of March, we limited all non-essential business travel and started setting protocols around who could enter the office. We started asking questions if people had been to certain parts of the world. We sent out little guidelines for people about cleanliness and sanitation. And we really tried to work incredibly hard from the beginning to make sure that you were safe, that all of our team members were safe, and really worked very hard to make sure that we had a plan in place. Little did we know that within a couple of weeks after that, that plan would have to come into activation. We'd have to activate that plan. I'll tell you, I don't think, well, I'll speak for myself. I didn't think there was any way that we would have to actually activate that plan, especially at that time, and be able to make it to where people would have to all work remote. Later, by mid-March, things had escalated to the point that we felt like it was important for us to get out ahead of this. One of the biggest commitments that we made during this time was to give a lot of communication. I said this a number of times that I wanted to over-communicate and instead of under-communicate. I would rather overreact than underreact. And so we started really communicating a lot. We had conference calls with all employees, talked a lot to managers and leaders and partners, and just really made sure that we had a plan in place. And by the middle of March, we I think it was on a Tuesday, I was on spring break with my family and decided to take a flight back to just get back in the office and start working on the plan. And then by that Friday, we were all had activated a plan to work remote, which was, it's just bizarre as you start thinking back about that. And so I think we're 7 or 8 weeks into this overall plan, and I just got to tell you, and I just want you to hear directly from me how appreciative I am of the way that all of our leaders responded. And one of the things I said just off the cuff on one of the first calls that we had is this is where leaders lead and when leaders lead. And our leaders have led exceptionally well. And we wanted to make sure that as an industry that we would come through this as strong as ever. And there's other industries, as you all know, that have really struggled during this time. And we wanted to make sure that our industry, serving people with their life and health needs, was protected and taken care of. And so I just want to reiterate that it has been a joy to be able to work with you guys and be able to just watch you respond to this. And to watch the leaders lead during this time. So I just want to say thank you so much for all of that. So what you've seen in America, there's over 30 million people now unemployed. I mean, this is one of the worst unemployment crises that we've ever seen since the Great Depression. And I don't think any of us could have ever imagined what was going on there. One of the first kind of rules that an investor would have in an economic crisis is to let people go, like just lay people off, whittle down to a sustainable number, and really make sure that you cut as much cost out of the business so that you're prepared to survive. And really it is all about survival whenever it comes down to it. That is a natural response, and that's what you've seen across the globe, right? You've seen people cut wages, you've seen people cut hours, you've seen people lay people off. These are really trying times. And I'll tell you, the easiest path during that time is to just follow that game plan that's just common sense and is just what you would call intuitive. This is what you would naturally do. And when that came about for us, I knew that would be the natural thing for people to say. It's one of the reasons that I spent so much time, and our team spent so much time, trying to prepare and trying to make sure that we had this plan in place, and then we over communicated the importance of people working so hard. I think Mark Cuban said it best right before this whole thing really blew up, is that how employers treat their employees in these times will impact the business for years to come. So if you're not committed to your employees and you let them go, you lay them off, you furlough them, you don't take care of their families, people are going to remember that. If you ride this storm out and you say, listen, we're not leaving one person behind, we're all in this together, people are going to remember that, and they're going to fight harder for the business going forward for years to come, because you're going to know that we're all in this together and we're a big family and we're committed. And the other thing I wanted to do right when this began was to start a daily conference call. We started this Inspire conference call just to share ideas about how do we get in spirit, right? Get in line with your spirit, and just how do you serve others. And then the Thomas Arch team took it to the next level and took that call and created a podcast, which has been incredibly powerful. And now this has been this little time of hope for so many people. And so, man, I tell you what, just some of the stories that we've heard, like, man, Jackson's Pokemon birthday, like, that was so much fun. Like, we would have never known about that story about Jackson, what Hunter and Cody did for the family there, and for Cassandra, and how that all came together. And then we got to join in on the fun and help with a Pokemon birthday for his 11th birthday, or for Anthony's college, and the whole story about his story, and Jessica's story about Todd Fincher and Tidewater, and then the opportunity to give him some money for college, and then the incredible outreach, man, like what Allentown has done with the bakery, and then how that impacted others, and people started wanting to be in on the fun and started to do different things. In fact, even Senator Mark Rubio heard about it and called up the bakery and said, "Who's this Integrity Marketing Group, and what are they doing?" And then he and his wife even said, "I want to give some money. I want to give some muffins to the ICU there at the Sarasota Hospital." Like, man, that has an impact. It had an impact on John Bettis and Jeremy Pielemeyer going, "Hey, I want to do something in Hot Springs, Arkansas." And so they started feeding their first responders, and that took on a life of its own. And then these records that we started seeing out of the Atlanta Marketing Center, and everybody's taking a pie in their face. I took a pie in my face. Mike White took a pie in his face. Tom Sheath and Mike Wingate took pies in their face. And, man, we just had so much fun. And then you had Kendall start singing on the pregame show, like whoever knew. And then we had hundreds of people calling in on a pregame show just to listen in on what was going to be next, who was going to sing, which created this idea of Integrity Idol. So this has created this like intimacy, this community, like this culture that sets us apart is just so powerful. In fact, we've even created an integrity leadership, a women's leadership forum, where we're recognizing the important women in our business and how incredible they are. And so we've got women leaders like Maggie Fleming and Jackie Huggins and Karen Fredericks, and you've got Laura Kimball and so many others that are saying, "Hey, I want to help." Like Angie Stedham and Casey Dow, all these different, Julie Ruttinger, like all of these incredible women who said, "I want to be part of that." And then we said, like, let's recognize women. Let's have women recognize women. And then we got all of these submissions on these videos of people just telling their powerful story. Like, man, like, business is not just about numbers. Business is about people and community and culture. And this time, as I look back on it, those decisions that we made, while difficult and while challenging, man, they were the most important decisions we could have ever made. Because if we would have started layoffs and doing all the things that other people do, just focus on numbers, man, honestly, I don't know we'd have a business. I don't know if it'd be a business I'd want to be part of. So I just want to thank you for everyone stepping up. Like, you all have stepped up and done an amazing job. And so I just want to say thank you for all of you who went above and beyond, who did just led throughout this entire time, because I think that is such an important thing. So that the difficult decisions that we made of saying, just trust us, everybody is going to work hard, the vast majority of our people are going to rally to this cause and do something special. Trust us. Trust us on this. Man, like, you guys have blown me away. You've blown us away. And for a business to grow by 28% in March, when all of this was happening, our April numbers haven't come out yet, but my gosh, people, like, that is exceptional. There's not many companies in the world that could have that type of an impact, and grow and expand as fast as we've seen. And so I just want to say thank you again for all that you've done to make that a reality. So now that I've said all of that, and the states are opening back up and the world's kind of starting to take a collective breath on this and being able to figure out kind of next steps, we've now actually had our readiness team shift to a readiness plan to helping us get back to work together safely. And so we've been putting together a plan to get back to business as usual, and back together safely. And this will allow businesses to return to business normally as quickly as possible. We are working on a plan first and foremost to ensure your health and your safety of all Integrity employees and their families, and to make sure that you guys understand that we are thinking through this. Now, I know there's going to be mixed emotions about this. There's going to be some people who have emotions such as, man, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. I don't want to go back. I'm fearful for whatever reason, or I just like working from home. And we understand that. We're going to make, those are natural feelings. And we're going to do everything we can to help you feel comfortable and make sure that you understand that we're thinking through all of these different things, and that we're setting up the right protocols to make it safe to reassure you. And we know that there's some that are just going to be like, man, I just can't wait. Let's go back today. And then there's going to be some of you who are just indifferent, like, I don't care, whatever, I'll stay working from home or I'll go back, whatever you want to do. It's going to take all of us kind of rallying together. And I want to tell you that as a business, we have been working very hard on making sure that we've got the right things in place for you to help you get prepared for this. And so some of the things that we're doing, and I just want to highlight some of these, is we're going to be providing a little welcome kit for each person as they come back in the offices. One thing we'll do is we've already bought masks for every employee. Now, you may say, do I have to wear my mask on the phone? The answer is no. But when you're in common areas, we'd like for you to wear your mask so that you're protected. We're also going to be having an Integrity T-shirt. One of the ideas that one of our offices came up with is we should have an Integrity T-shirt that we should sell for charity. And I love the idea so much, I said, why don't we just give every Integrity employee a T-shirt so that they've got those, so we all have this kind of one team, one vision kind of mentality. We are going to be taking temperatures of everybody as they come in the office. And if you have a temperature, I just want to be explicitly clear. If you are sick or you have a temperature, please stay home. I am guilty of this. I'm really guilty of trying to be a tough guy and trying to work through things. But if you're sick, man, please stay home. No one wants to take any chances here. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a protocol that as you enter the office, we're going to be taking temperatures. And if you have a temperature, we're going to ask you to go home. More importantly, we want to make sure that everybody inside the office knows that everybody else around them is safe. We're also going to be having decals and signs about social distancing. We'd like for you to all stay 6 feet apart as much as possible where you can. Don't all congregate around a table in the lunchroom. we want to make sure that we're social distancing and keeping as safe as possible. We're going to be deep sanitizing all of the offices and working on better sanitization and cleaning processes for every office to make sure that every office is safe before you return to the office. And we're going to really just be making sure that we continue that cleanliness process to make sure that we're sanitizing everything each day. We've actually written a book of guidelines for everyone to share and everybody to have. We're going to be providing that to you to give you an update on all of these different topics and what we're doing. Our team has done just a fabulous job of outlining those guidelines. We also have frequently asked questions. I know many of you will have questions. We've tried to anticipate most of them. We're working with all the leaders and all the partners at all the various offices about these, and we are going to be sharing all of those with you guys as well. So you'll get guidelines, you'll get frequently asked questions, and then we're also going to be providing you with a lot of different things, like taking temperature and the T-shirt and the mask and things of that nature. Now, as I said before, I know there's going to be mixed emotions. Some of you are jumping for joy right now. Some of you are a little fearful. Some of you are indifferent. We're going to get through this all together. And we really believe that it's important for the long term of our business to really be able to come together and be able to work together safely again, back together safely. And we're really taking this very serious as we're putting all of this together. So, as I said, you're going to be sent a link today with the guidelines, with questions, with a T-shirt order that I'm excited about. In fact, I'm wearing the same T-shirt as we speak. Love this T-shirt. It's one of my favorite ones we have. We're also working with each partner. We have a readiness team member who is assigned to each office to make sure that they have that they have support and everything put together for your office. And we're putting together an actual plan, a space plan, a cleanliness plan, an entire plan for your office individually that we're working on. And we're going to be continuing to pay close attention to the guidelines from the federal, state, local governments, as well as the CDC, and address specific concerns as they come up office by office. And if you have questions or concerns after you get the documents, I'd ask you to wait and read through some of this. We're all committed to helping make this transition time as smooth and as safe as possible. And I know that there's going to be different feelings, as I said. One of the things we want to do is give y'all all advance notice about this. We know that there's going to be a lot of people who need to work on childcare, and we ask you to do that. Go ahead and start that process now. You got a couple of weeks. Start that process. Get everything set up for your family, because we do need to get back into the offices, and we wanted to give you time to be working on that. And so we wanted to be able to have this ready for as soon as that kind of time really happens. So we are all committed to making sure that this is a smooth transition. And as I said before, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for just being able to make this not just a process that we survived, but a process I think that has been honestly enjoyable to be able to work remote, get to know each one of you better. We're going to continue the Inspire podcast going forward. It may not be on a daily basis, but we're going to commit to keeping that going because it's just been amazing to see all of the stories. You trusted us as we went remote. You trusted us to make sure that we didn't lay a lot of people off, or honestly, we didn't lay a single person off through this entire time, which we may be one of the only companies in the country that took that path. We grew our business, which is unheard of. It's unheard of. And because of all of that, we ask you to trust us. As we get back in the office, we need to trust you to make sure that you don't come in if you're sick, don't come in if you've got a fever. Use the tools we've given you let's make sure that we're social distance, make sure that we're not hugging and shaking hands right now. We're going to continue limiting all non-essential business travel. We're going to be doing a lot of those things. We're going to limit a lot of guests from coming into offices, and we're going to be taking temperatures. We're going to be doing a lot of things, including deep sanitizing the offices. So I would ask you to trust us as we start back going. Some people may say, why now? We've got to do this at some point. And right now, we've got to prepare for this summer and this AEP. We've got to get back together to prepare for what's going to be an incredible close to the year 2020. Anytime I talk to an investor or anytime I talk to other people, people will say, how did you respond during what was one of the worst economic and health crises in modern history? And I'll say, I was surrounded by the best team of people ever, and we all made it through safely and thrived during that time. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Look forward to talking with you guys tomorrow, and I just wanted to end by just saying, just thank you. I love you guys more than you'll ever know, and I appreciate you more than I can ever express, and I can't wait to be able to see you all again very soon. God bless you, and we'll talk to you all soon.